Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's Tropical Atlantic Update. So, looking at the Tropical Atlantic Basin, first looking at Tropical Storm Gert as of 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, Sunday, September the 3rd. Tropical Storm Gert has maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 999 millibars, and north-northeasterly movement at 18 miles per hour. Looking at Tropical Storm Katia, Katia has maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 1,006 millibars, and northwesterly movement at 7 miles per hour. Then we have a tropical wave coming off of Africa with a 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 7 days. And then here is Invest 95L, what we're going to be focusing on mainly in this video. As of 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Sunday, September the 3rd, 2023. Showers and thunderstorms are showing signs of organization in association with a tropical wave located several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Environmental conditions are forecast to be conducive for further development, and the system is expected to become a tropical depression in 2 or 3 days. Additional strengthening is likely late this week while the system moves westward and west-northwestward at 15 to 20 miles per hour over the central and western portions of the tropical Atlantic. Formation chance through 48 hours is now medium at 60%. Formation chance through 7 days is now high at 90%. If you live in areas like Barbados, through the Central Windward Islands, through Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, through Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, and up towards Antigua and Barbuda, the British U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico, make sure you're really closely monitoring Invest 95L, as impacts are looking likely in about 7 days or so. So taking a look at our models, looking at the 18Z run of the GFS model, we have our Invest 95L in the main development region of the Atlantic as of Sunday evening. Going into Monday and Tuesday, not much happens in the GFS, but we could see a tropical depression by Wednesday east of the Windward Islands in the west central main development region. As we go into Thursday, the GFS model is developing a tropical storm by Thursday, September the 7th, about 500 miles east of the Lesser Antilles, and then we could see impacts by Saturday, September the 9th, as a relatively weak tropical storm approaches the northeastern Lesser Antilles, and then we could see possibly a landfall in Antigua, Barbuda, or Anguilla as a mid-grade tropical storm by Saturday morning to Saturday afternoon, bringing some heavy rain to the Northern Windward Islands through the Virgin Islands by Sunday, Puerto Rico by Monday. As the GFS moves, Invest 95L is a strong tropical storm, weak hurricane north of Puerto Rico by Monday, September the 11th. And then as we go into the afternoon, very close to the Turks and Caicos, a strengthening Category 2 hurricane. And then as we go into Wednesday, could see a major hurricane just east of the Bahamas. So if you live anywhere from the central Northern Windward Islands through Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, make sure you're watching Invest 95L closely, and then later on down the line, could even see some impacts along the East Coast come Saturday and Sunday, September the 16th and 17th. So looking at the European model, the 12Z run, the European model develops a tropical storm by Wednesday, September the 6th, and then a hurricane by Friday, September the 8th. The European has a further north solution, mostly missing the northern Lesser Antilles and Virgin Islands. By Sunday, September the 10th, see a possible Category 3 hurricane north of the Lesser Antilles. And then as we go into Tuesday, September the 12th, could see a major Category 3 or 4 hurricane approaching the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas. So concerning trends for the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas in the European model, better news for the Northern Lesser Antilles, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Hispaniola. Now taking a look at the Canadian model shows a strengthening hurricane barreling through Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis by Saturday, September the 9th, possibly a Category 2 hurricane, and then just north of Puerto Rico by Sunday, September the 10th. And then the Canadian barely misses the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas by Tuesday and Wednesday, September the 12th and 13th. So, latest model trends show increasing concern for the central northern Lesser Antilles, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, as well as the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas. Make sure you're watching Invest 95L very closely if you live in these areas over the next 7 to 10 days. Now, taking a look at the concerning ingredients for the potential hurricane development, our sea surface temperatures continue to be sky high between about 29 and 31 degrees Celsius or 84 to 88 degrees Fahrenheit in the central western Atlantic, Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico. Plenty of warm sea surface temperatures for Invest 95L to utilize. Looking at the wind shear map, this is very concerning. Literally no wind shear in the main development region, through the Caribbean, through the eastern Gulf of Mexico where this system is going to be moving. There is no wind shear blocking Invest 95L and its tracks, so very concerning. Look at the wind shear or lack of wind shear. And looking at the dry air, if there's one saving grace, it could be the dry air. As we go advance the European model through the next several days, by Wednesday we see our tropical storm. We see a lot of dry air surrounding it. So if we can get some of that dry air to wrap into the system, hopefully it'll keep the system weak. However, the European model forms a moist pocket and the dry air has trouble penetrating it, as we see Invest 95L continue to strengthen by the end of the model run. So, if you live across the central Northern Windward Islands, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, and even towards Florida, the southeast and east coast, make sure you're watching Invest 95L very closely over the next 7 to 12 days, as we could be dealing with a hurricane impacting these areas. Please stay safe. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening, my friends.